Hey, Gator Nation. Welcome back to Respect Our Decision, Pot of the People, our weekly Q&A show where we take the questions you send us and try to provide some answers to them. And as always, guys, we do the Pot of the People episode exclusively for our YouTube channel. So if you're just catching us for the first time maybe and you haven't already, do us a favor if you wouldn't mind and hit that subscribe button up there. It's free to subscribe all day. And if you didn't know, or maybe you hadn't been able to do it yet, as we know, we said we're running a contest for the month of June for a free shirt from Alma Mater, the Scared Money Don't Make Money t-shirt. If you haven't seen it already, we post the pictures of it on our social media platforms, on our Facebook group, our Twitter, at RespectOurDCN. So all you have to do to be entered in that giveaway, guys, is be subscribed to the channel, drop a like on the video, and leave a comment down below. The comment could be a question maybe for next week's episode, or, hey, I just want this free shirt. I don't care what y'all say. Hey, just don't insult my mama. I don't care.
Yeah, and to my brethren, my namesake's West, even that comment is, I got a new internet this week. I'm not using the government official internet. We're gonna run through these questions fast tonight.
Wes got 2 brand new AOL discs in the mail, guys.
That's right. He's got 40 minutes, so we got to go.
I was surprised it was my namesakes that talked trash about my internet, man.
All right, Wes, hit us with our questions of the week.
We got a lot tonight, so we're gonna kind of try to breeze through them. I'm keep the comments, my comments short off you guys' feedback. The first one is from my boy Charlie Sapp Hirsch. No, I'm gonna go with this one for you first, CJ. Are we getting anyone from last week's big recruiting weekend?
Yes.
If you had to name a guy, who would you name?
Chris Jones. I think you still get him. I mean, I still think we get Chris Jones. I don't see why we wouldn't. Everything I know, we got the Fong bomb, man. We're out here.
Well, let me say it like this: if you had to name a guy other than Chris Jones,
Chris Jones,
yeah.
LJ McCray.
Yeah, LJ McCray or Kendall Jackson. I think those are 2 safe bets. Actually, you know what? I'll scratch that. I say we get DeAndre Robinson.
I was going to say him too if you didn't. Yep. I think we end up getting at least 3 to 4 out of last weekend's visits.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Hirsch. This is from Charlie again. He says, "What is the deal with Austin Simmons visiting Ole Miss?"
All I can say is, there were some things going on behind the scenes with Austin Simmons. I'm not going to go into deep detail about what those were because I'm not here to slander anyone in the Austin Simmons camp. That's not my place to do. All I can tell you is, as of tonight's recording, Austin Simmons and his family are in Gainesville, and it looks like all has been righted with the ship. So hopefully we'll have an announcement soon, whether that be he's enrolling or I'm 100% committed to Florida and I'm not going to take any other visits. Some nature of statement that shows that the Ole Miss visit was just a one-off.
Gotcha. All right, CJ, this one is for you. This is from my boy Bo Dawes. He says, "Who is on your Mount Rushmore of old linemen?" And I'm gonna he didn't specify, but I'm gonna Florida.
Just Florida. Okay, because I asked, I didn't need to respond back to me. I wanted to know what he meant. But Florida, it's the Pounceys, it's Lomas Brown, and it's Jason Odom. Those are my 4. If we're talking Mount Rushmore, Florida, those are the guys. The Pounceys are the Pounceys. Lomas Brown is probably the greatest offensive lineman in the University of Florida. And Odom, he was a big-time player, and he was 4-year starter for Spurrier up till till the late 90s. And went to Tampa Bay, and unfortunately, his career was cut short by injury. But those are the guys that I would go with if I'm going to say Florida offensive lineman: the Pounceys, Lomas Brown, and Odom.
Real quick, Hirsch, give me a starting 5.
Jesus, I can't. I can't that quick. Like you caught me off guard.
CJ, since you own it, CJ, give me
those 4 guys, and then
he nailed the Pounceys are there. I mean, you got
center and guard.
Maybe Zimmerman from the Great Wall of Florida. Maybe he's one that you go with. I think that would be, yeah, maybe in a few years we might be putting Osiris Torrance on that.
I was about to say Torrance, or if you went newer recently, maybe not the NFL, but we talking about at Florida, maybe Wani at right tackle was solid there.
Yeah, Jawan Taylor, maybe DJ Humphries, you could say he's been in the NFL for as long as he has.
I can't give Osiris just because he only did the 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely one of the best to ever play here.
Yeah, I mean he's an All-American. You know, not a lot of those guys got that honor.
Unanimous. I mean,
especially for the greats in the '90s, because all the damn offensive linemen from Nebraska were getting All-Americans. So I mean,
Shannon Snell.
Yeah, Shannon Snell.
Big Snell, if you're listening, we got
Shout
you.
Shout out. Send me. I'm giving my address. You send me some brisket.
Yeah, man.
All right, Hirsch. This is from my boy, Justin Wood. He says, feelings on the wide receiver board after Moore commits to Clemson, which he already did. Should we have pushed harder for Moore earlier?
First off, let me cover Moore. The word has been that TJ Moore has wanted Clemson for a while now. I'm just not sure he was given the green light until this weekend to commit. But a month or so ago, TJ Moore listed us as his leader, but everyone in the industry was like, well, it's Clemson. Clemson is the favorite. So should we have pushed harder? I'm not sure we could have, to be honestly. I think we pushed really hard to get to the spot we were in. So it is what it is, man. You're going to take L's in recruiting. That's why you recruit. You send offers to 200 plus kids because you only can sign 20 to 25. So you're going to miss.
I mean, who knows if he holds off for a week or two and he makes his official visit where we would be. I mean, Clemson just shut it down. I mean,
yeah.
What it is.
So there's going to be a slew of names you're going to hear about. Terrell Anderson, Jameer Grimsley, J.J. Harrell, Bussy out of Texas. I mean, you're going to hear some names, and there's names that we probably aren't even saying right now that will come out of the woodwork. So there's going to be some names because this staff wants 4 receivers in this class. They have 1. So they got work to do. I mean, obviously, Jerry Hawkins is going to official visit this week. He's the small-bodied slot guy they want, but they want 2 big-body receivers on the outside.
CJ, Justin again says, how are you feeling now after the regionals, baseball-wise?
I feel about the same. I know how good this team is. And I've been on record telling people that this is a very good, very talented team that can win the whole damn tournament. You've just got to understand baseball. If you don't understand baseball, then you're going to freak out because every loss isn't as damning as it is in other sports. I mean, you lose a game in baseball, you lose a series in baseball, it sucks, but it doesn't mean that the team is bad. There's going to be highs and lows. It's a long season. You play a bunch of games. Guys are going to get hurt. Shoulders are going to get tight. Guys are going to pull hamstrings. They're not going to be the best they are every week. You're going to have guys that deal with the flu, and then you've got to come out and pitch. So it is what it is. We've got a talented team. The regionals. You lose on Saturday. That'll shake you. Losing to Texas Tech, that made me nervous. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I thought for sure, we're just going to breeze through, because it's tough. It is really hard to run that gamut because you have to play a doubleheader, and then you have to beat that team again. If you do end up winning those 2 games in one day. So there's a lot to it, but I feel good about the team. Like I said, it's super talented. This is one of the best teams that we've ever had talent-wise. So I am confident. I think we can do it. If we get to Omaha, I will be over the moon. That's always been kind of my yardstick for this season. If you can get to Omaha, you have done everything that you can do with this team. You have done it. You have put yourself into the position that you needed to put this team in. So, I'm confident in the team. There are some great teams out there. Don't let LSU get hot again. If LSU gets, because they seem like they're getting there. If LSU gets super hot again, we're going to be in a mess if we have to match up with them, because those guys are another team that are just supremely talented. I want to play them, though. I would love – we didn't get to play LSU in the regular season. I want to match up. I want to play LSU. I want to see, how those two teams play, because the way those two teams play, the score could be, like a 15-14 baseball game, which would be really fun to watch.
Gotcha. Hirsch. Again, Justin. He says, are you still confident in the way recruiting is going, or do you think there's some kinks that still need to be worked out?
We're not Alabama or Georgia or Ohio. Yeah, there's always kinks that need to be worked out until you're recruiting at that level, as far as I'm concerned, because I've seen the University of Florida recruit at that level. So, yeah, I mean, there's kinks. Do I think this staff need to be maybe a little bit more killers when they're closing? Yeah, but are we in a position to be that way? Probably not. I mean, we're coming off of 2 6-win seasons. I mean, what are we supposed to say? 2 elite kids. I'm not talking about, middle of the road kids, top 400 kids. I'm talking about if you're a top 100, top 150 kid, or a 5-star especially, we're not in a position for you to come on campus and say, you shut it down now, you don't take any more visits, you're a Gator.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just not. Win on the field, keep recruiting the way you're recruiting. It should balance out. But yeah, I mean, there's always kinks you can fix until you're recruiting like Bama or Georgia.
All right, CJ, last one from Justin. He says, excuse me, this ain't the last one from Justin. He has 2 more. This is the third one from Justin. He says, since you didn't get the Austin Simmons question, I'll give you this one. He says, is Austin Simmons another Rashada situation where he wants more money?
I don't even know. How do I put this? I don't think the Rashada situation was we want more money. I think there was way more to that than we'll ever know. And there's more to this Austin Simmons situation than we probably know, because I'm not in the meeting room and I'm not the one talking to his mother and his father. And I'm not talking to Austin. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the holdup was. He's not running this by me. You could certainly go off of message board rumors and you could read into that. And I understand if that's what you do, because that's really the only information out there. And people like us who are as fanatic as we are about this want to know, right? We want to put everything together. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't understand. As of right now, again, as far as we know, everything's cool. And another thing with this, you will see this a lot. I think you'll see it more now than we ever have, but you're going to see a lot in recruiting anyway. There were rumors of all kinds of crap with kids last year. We had, the Dijon Johnson saga. You had the Mark Fletcher saga. You had the whole, as the world turns with Rashada, and you have the situation with what is Andy Jean doing, right? And I think that's just what recruiting is, and I think that's why we follow it. Because it's like a soap opera. It's like a drama. It changes all the time. But as of right now, everything's cool. So, I mean, I don't know what the issue was. I mean, I don't think they came in and said, hey, we need we need like my bad, bleep. We need $20,000 on the table, or something like that. We're not coming. I don't think that happened. You have this smoke filled room, and you've got Billy and Corey Raymond. They're sitting there, and they've got one light bulb above their head, and it's like swinging back and forth. And Rashadas, and then they come in there and they open up this briefcase. That's what we want to picture, right? But that's just not what this is. There's something happened. It seems smoothed over. Sorry for the language. I know it's a family show. I didn't mean to say that.
My God.
I'm sorry. Is that the first F-bomb on the show?
Yeah. You got to put $1 in the jar or something. I don't know what we do for that. My Lord.
First, Justin says, have you jumped off a mountain like the rest of Gator Nation after no commits this weekend?
No, because I expected it. I lie. I expected one commit. Then I was told a little more about the situation and what's going on, and I said, I can't blame the kid. And once again, it goes back to what I said a second ago. I mean, we're not in the best of situations to tell a kid that has options like Georgia, Alabama, and other schools, hey, you can't go visit them. You've got to commit here. I mean, sure, we could throw a large sum of monopoly money at them. And I'm just saying that because we don't give kids money, okay? It's illegal. Stop it. But no, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like I've said in the main show, wait till the end of the month, and then we'll take stock of what's happened.
All right, CJ, similar question from Jared White. This is what he has to say. He went a little bit more in depth of the reason why he feels the way he feels, which is understandable because a lot of us who have been in the middle, sometimes you try to do what he's about to say. So I'll ask this question to you so you can get where he's coming from. He says, after 0 commits this weekend, all I heard was no one is getting commits. Kids are waiting. They're taking all their visits. Now, Clemson got 3 from their weekend, including a long-time UF lean. I have been preaching patience, so he's been on the patient side, but he's beginning to get worried. Are you worried? So similar question, but he offered why he's beginning to sway.
Hey man, I totally understand why somebody would be worried. I get it, especially depending on who you listen to, right? If you listen to a lot of people that really pumped up this weekend, and On3 did, they a lot of this, and we did to an extent. I'm not going to say we didn't. And I get what you're saying, about the Clemson situation, but here's the thing: Sammy Brown had been a Clemson lean for a long time. It was him, it was them in Georgia, and Sammy's been being recruited harder than just about any other kid in the country for the last year. So it's not like they just started last week. It's not like this hasn't been an ongoing process. And the same thing with TJ Moore. Clemson had been recruiting him for a long time. He might have said Florida was the leader. Maybe DJ posted a picture of him and TJ hanging, whatever. And everybody kind of got that idea. But again, a lot of the people within the know and the national reporters that aren't, Florida biased were saying that Clemson probably still leads. So, you can take it that way. And I understand, too, Clemson as a program is in a different position than Florida is as a program. And I know that hurts to say, and I know that sucks, and some people don't want to listen to that. But Clemson can out-recruit anybody, and they have. Clemson has really done a good job at doing what I think we're trying to do with consistently getting really good position of need kids every year. You've got like Clemson hasn't been like a number 1 recruiting class school. They haven't done that, but they've consistently been in the top 10 every year. And especially in their conference, if you do that
with elite quarterback play,
and you have an elite quarterback, which they do. They got 2 of them now with the gentleman last year who committed, Mr. Golly, his name escapes me now. He's got like
escaping me too.
It's like
Klubnik?
a weird.
I was talking.
Klubnik is there. Is Klubnik's there? Then there's one more. It's like he's got like a weird name. Like it's got like 2
V. I know you're talking about, but what I was
Vizina.
Yeah, and what I was talking about is the way they were recruiting from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence. When you have that 6-year run, you can build your program with 2 elite quarterbacks, and like you say, only recruit, like they can stagger and say, well, we got some good linebackers last year, so we don't have to go all in on linebackers this year, but we needed some edge rushers, so let's go here. And they always keep good receivers, so and with the quarterback that they've had, so that they had a good defensive coordinator in Venable, so you can do things like that the way, and I don't mind building a program like that, but you have to. I mean, they hit the number 1 quarterback back to back in their. I think they staggered. It staggered 2 years.
You definitely, if you're going to do it like they're doing, you're going to have to hit. You're going to have to say, "Hey, we need position of need. This guy. This is the guy we want. We've got to get him." And Clemson's done a good job at doing that. They're not getting 30 kids in a class and are ranked number 1. They're not, Clemson maybe has 2 to 3 5-stars in a class at the most. Then they get a whole bunch of really good kids through the just like again, and it's really similar to what we're trying to do, in the sense of just filling in with what you get to really meet needs with elite talent. So it can be done, and I understand. Like I said, it's easier for them to do that because of their conference. They don't have to. Florida State's not recruiting at that level. Miami's not recruiting at that level. I understand Miami had a good class last year, but up to that point for the last 10, 15 years, Miami really hasn't done that. There's really no competition there. Virginia Tech hasn't been very good at all since, Beamer left. North Carolina isn't doing that. So it's easier for them, and I understand that. But again, like I said, it's just we're talking apples to oranges at this point. Yeah. Clemson, where they're at now, where we're at, are two different things. And just I understand the frustration, especially from coming from somebody who's been a longtime Florida fan, like we all have, because we've seen where Florida can be and we know where we should be, right? Like that's our whole mindset is we know we can get back to that level. The problem is you can't eat the cake unless you let it bake. We can't, you can't just pull that thing out. And batter's good. Don't get me wrong. Batter's great, but batter make you sick. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to let that thing bake. You've got to let it, you've got to let this thing come to fruition. If you're gonna do this, you got to let Billy cook the meal. You can't just say, okay, we want it now. We've been eating Chinese takeout for the last 10 years, where coaches would just come in and they just wipe the slate and they'd be like, okay, here you go, this is this, and you have some pretty good immediate success, but there's never really been a good foundation laid, and that's the hardest problem is trying to keep people patient through the foundation period, and that's where we're at. And it's hard.
Like I've been telling my Clemson buddies, you guys allude to me living in South Carolina. The bottom line is when Clemson is ranked 6th or 7th in recruiting, and then you have Florida State in those days ranked 18th, or Miami ranked 18th, or whoever they were competing with, ranked the talent description from 7 to 18 is wide. So it's not like us being at 7 and Georgia and Alabama being at 1 and 2. From 7 to 18 is a wide range, and that's the luxury they've had of not having to be in the top 5 and only having to play Alabama at the end of the year. So or Ohio State at the end of the year,
and then too, with Clemson being ranked within the top 10, that's the number 1 class in the ACC. If you got the 9th best recruiting class, you probably have the number 1 class in the ACC.
Yeah.
And here, you could have the number 3 ranked recruiting class and have the number 3 best class in the conference. It's just it's a different animal. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into this that we can't really it's not all the way squared up even.
All right, Hirsch, last question for you. This is from Justin Cordero. You kind of alluded to this question, so you can keep this kind of short. We kind of talked about this on the main podcast, and we kind of skimmed around it here as well. He says, with TJ Moore off the board for now, what are the best options available that we are in the running for? Also, with the wide receiver haul last cycle, can you see them pivoting and try to land 3 to 4 tight ends this year?
No. They're going to try to land 2 tight ends and 4 wide receivers. That is the plan. They want 2 slot small wide receivers, and they want 2 bigger body receivers, the 6'2", 6'3", that can still run. Tight end right now, obviously, Walter Matthews is visiting this weekend. Amir Jackson will visit the weekend after. Those are probably your top 1, 2. If they get both of those guys, they will be elated and they will close up shop. Yep. And that will be it. I've already alluded to what the wide receiver board is kind of looking like. And like I've already said, there will probably be names that come out of nowhere. And obviously, Jeremiah Smith is still the number 1 guy. It doesn't matter how committed he says he is to Ohio State. The kid's listening. He's listening to what we have to say. We have to show him something on the field. Wes has alluded to that. He's, freshman wide receiver play is probably going to be very pivotal this year. He's got a great relationship with DJ Lagway, loves DJ. They're very similar types of kids. So right now you push all ahead go with Jeremiah Smith, and you pivot to some other guys that maybe we don't know about. Maybe some guys committed to other programs. CJ even mentioned that in our main show. This is a staff that never takes no or hey, I'm done for an answer. They're not even done with TJ Moore.
Yep.
I mean, TJ Moore may be done with us, but we're not done with him right now. So we'll just have to. You have to keep chipping away, man, and see where the cards fall.
Yeah, and Jared White, you had another question. Was it Austin Simmons related? I didn't ask. I saw it. Just to let you know, it was kind of. I think we kind of already touched on Austin Simmons and everything going there, so we're not going to do that question.
All right, is that all you got for the Facebook group?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got some on our YouTube video last week, guys. Thanks for. Now y'all are getting it, man. We're finally getting more and more questions under the video. We appreciate that. I'm going to start with the guy that always ask a question in our videos, Lucas, the Gator Man. Thank you, Lucas, as always, for sending in your question. Do you think Zay, being Zay Mincy, pops the weekend of June 9th? Lucas, and I've already kind of talked about this. We talked about Zay in our main show, and you'll probably have heard that first. It's possible. Do I expect it? No. Is Zay one of those kids that gets on campus and spends a few days with Corey Raymond and says, "Nah, I ain't risking this. This is where I want to be. I want my spot." Because Corey Raymond's gonna fill his spots. That's one thing we know is gonna happen. Corey Raymond wants 6 kids, is what we've heard. 2 corners, 2 star nickels, 2 safeties, or a variety of kids that can play the multiple positions. Corey Raymond's going to get his 6 guys. You can bet money on that. So Zay may want to go ahead and grab that spot this weekend. Or maybe they tell Zay, hey, let's wait till Friday Night Lights and make that a big time thing. I really don't know what the staff's plan on that is. Billy's got a plan for these kind of things. He likes a lot of kids to pop at the same time, whatnot. Or maybe Zay's one of those kids that Billy says, you know what, man, we need the momentum. We need something, the fan base looks a little restless. Let's get it done. It could happen, Lucas. I'm just not, don't set yourself up for like it has to, like you're going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen this weekend. All right, Marlon Davis. How do we get 4- and 5-star O linemen? Bags of cash? What? Marlon,
that would help.
Marlon, I wish I had an answer for you, brother. I really, really do. This has been a pet peeve of mine. Wes has been on the bandwagon with me about it for a minute now. At some point, you got to get some elite offensive linemen. I'm tired of no elite offensive tackles. Marlon asked another question. I'll ask this to you, Wes, since I took all the glory on that one. Going back to the O-line, is the 2-coach approach working out as well as we hoped?
In recruiting, no. There were some struggles. I want to see what they do this year on the field. In recruiting, no, not to me, nah, not even in the least. I know we kind of, we can't blame everything on Ruiz last year. I mean, they did get Kearney. But I want to see what happens this year on the field as well. I'm going to give them their full cycle as I'm giving this entire staff this full cycle to show me that they can recruit at an elite level. But in my opinion right now, if I had to grade them, they don't get a C. They get a D from me right now.
Whew. That's rough. All right. Clifford Abernathy asks, so what if Mertz comes out of the gate and plays like his very first game at Wisconsin all season? I think that's what some people are talking about when they say Mertz is going to surprise some people this year. Your thoughts? CJ, what do you think?
Then that's great. That's awesome, man.
Give me Jeremiah Smith.
Man, boy, you get me anybody you want. If Graham Mertz comes out and he looks great, I'll be over the moon. I have been a very staunch supporter of Graham Mertz. I think I really have tried to talk everyone off the ledge about Graham Mertz. I think Graham Mertz is okay. He's not going to be he's not going to be even what AR was. He's not going to be an all SEC quarterback. He's not going to probably be an NFL draft pick, but he can be serviceable. Can he do that? Can he get? And I told when he got picked up, I said from the beginning, can he be Luke Del Rio? If he can come in and be Luke Del Rio and just be okay, then we'll be okay. You don't want him to be horrible. You don't want him to be Skylar Morningwig. And I think that's what everybody's expecting is he's going to come in and be that. But the season will go as he goes. I think that's the way it is. Your quarterback's going to determine if he can limit the mistakes and just execute the simple, easy stuff. We'll be okay.
Be good enough to get the defense out of the box.
Yeah.
Be good enough to get the defense out of the box so that the run game can flourish, and you have a chance. I mean, the weapons are they where we want them to be? No, but the weapons are there. Like, he's got enough weapons to have a good season. He's just got to stay out of his headspace, man. Don't try to be this school's savior. Just be competent. Be Trent Dilfer.
Right.
I got one more question from Tony Nelson on our Twitter page. He answered this I believe under the community question. He didn't realize this wasn't the weekly questionnaire, but that's fine, Tony. Thank you for sending in the question. Tony's question is, what percentage of the catches for the year do you think the freshmen will have? Wes, you got an opinion on this? What percentage of the catches do you think the freshmen will have?
That's a really, really, really good question.
It is, Tony. Thank you for sending it in. That's different. Thank you for.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. What I think and what I want may be two different things.
You want it higher than it probably is going to be. So just go with what you really think it's going to be.
I'll go 30%.
I kind of am in the same ballpark. That's kind of exactly where I was.
Yeah, I was going to say a third of the catches.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Ricky's going to get his share.
He's going to get another third. And then
Ricky's going to get a share. I think the tight ends are going to get more catches this year.
And the backs. The tight ends in the back.
I think you're going to see Boardingham and Odom and those boys. I think they're going to get more catches. A lot of those slant patterns and drags that didn't get picked up last year, I think that's going to be where Mertz lives a lot more, is on those check down, simple routes, things like that.
Like Caleb Douglas, that's still on the route.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the weapons are there, but I really think that Ricky's obviously target one. I think any quarterback that came in would have been made, would realize, hey, Ricky's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
But then you're Andy Jean, and then Mizell's going to get in there, and then we don't even know what Trey Wilson's going to bring to the table yet, but he's going to have packages. I have a really good feeling. Guys, thank you so much for your questions as always. Keep them coming, man. This is awesome. So much interaction. Time for this week's community question. Just CJ continues to move the needle here. Besides Florida, who is the best college mascot? Ooh, boy. Richard Denise says, Otto the Orange, man. He posted a GIF of Otto the Orange from Syracuse. I like Otto the Orange, man. He's a fun mascot. Tommy Boy, Keggy the Keg from Dartmouth.
Yes.
I can't argue with that one bit, man. Any mascot for a college that, is a keg is perfect. Like, you can't even top that. That's like, Justin Wood said Oklahoma State's mascot, the Cowboy.
Pistol Pete.
I always thought, huh?
Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. It escaped me, and I knew it. Kenny says, for me, it's a toss-up between that crazy horned frog at TCU and Billy from Hawaii, solely based on just how unique each mascot is, not just within college football, but across all sports. And let's see here. What else we got? And Lucas said War Eagle. Oh, my goodness, Lucas, really? Auburn? They can't even pick a mascot.
Tigers, Eagles.
Wes, what do you
Toilet
got on the
paper.
Facebook group?
Our boy Jared White said he hates to say it and don't kill him, but Miami. He's
Oh,
going to go with
God.
Miami.
Is he talking about the ibis or is he talking about the hurricane itself?
The duck.
I think he's thinking about the duck.
The seagull, whatever that thing is.
Oh, shit.
Euless Granger said, I don't care, go Gators. Kinsley O'Quinn said, bully from Mississippi State. And then she put go Gators. Byron Holden said, the Texas Longhorn, a real animal. Josh Visanzo said, Michigan Wolverines. Ryan Parker said, Campbell fighting the Fighting Camels. Mike Miller said, there's no other. Theory Bit Biden said, Texas, they have Bevo. Jay Stubbs says, the Colorado Buffaloes, Rafi. And David Friend said, the Stanford Pandezero Pine is great.
The tree.
Yeah.
The tree is the picture I used. I thought it was funny.
Jay Stubbins, man, you took mine. Ralphie the Buffalo will always be one of my favorites, man. It's cool as heck to see those boys try to run with that damn buffalo out on the field. Plus, you just don't see a lot of buffaloes, man. It's really cool to me that they have one. Michigan's a bunch of cowards. Why don't they have a real Wolverine? I mean, what's going on there?
Good thing out there, man. Where's that Wolverine at? Bring him out.
Wes, what's yours?
I don't know if this count. I guess this would be a mascot, and they're gonna probably eat me up for this as well. But I like the Florida State when they come on and
all right, get this guy out of here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Osceola, get this guy.
I like when they drop the spear in the I like it, man. It gives me hype for the game, and it makes me want to beat their ass even more, man. It gives me hype.
Wes likes when they take a white guy and they paint him red.
Well, I was about to say Wes is a big fan of when they take a white man and paint him up as an Indian. Get this guy out of here.
I like the pregame.
Last week they were dragging you about their internet. I know what they're gonna drag you about this week. Guys, leave a comment. Leave a comment below about what you think about Wes saying that Chief Osceola is his favorite.
Being a Washington fan that messed him up, man. He watched that for years. Man, I wish Washington would do that.
And the Braves too, man.
I love the Braves, but I won't even do the damn chop. I don't even want to. I don't even do the war chant for the Braves, but I love my Braves. There's only one answer for this. It is the Delta State Fighting Okra. You cannot beat the Fighting Okra. That is the best mascot in all college sports. I'll throw the Campbell Camels in there. The Boilermakers is cool.
I would have rather had the fried okras myself.
My wife had she went to high school against our rivals, and they had their high school mascot. They were the syrup makers from Cairo. That was
Cairo, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The Cairo syrup makers. That was their mascot. So
that's fantastic.
So that was always the one that was out there. But no, I'd have to go with that Fighting Okra from Delta State. That thing is great.
Man, now the country soul food man in me's coming out. I want some fried okra, something bad. I'm gonna jump out of here. Wes, don't make that face at me. You like daggum Florida State's mascot. We're gonna get you out of here.
I'm a country boy too. I just don't like the
You ain't living that down.
Give me some.
Leave your comments below. Leave them below. We want to see them. We'll read some of them off next week. All right, guys. We appreciate you all so much for all your interactions. Man, we appreciate all your questions. Be on the lookout next week for the questionnaire. Wes usually posts that around Monday morning on our Facebook group. I'll try to post it on our Twitter too, so we can maybe get even more questions. Man, this is the fun show. We love to do this show, have some laughs, crack up, make fun of each other. That's what keeps us going, man. That's what, when you have tense times when people are out there going, why ain't there more commits? And then we can do this show and just kind of joke around. Kind of break the trend a little bit. So thank you guys as always. Keep sending in those questions. Leave some below, man. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. You're automatically entered in the giveaway for the free shirt.
And
you're already here. I mean, you're already here. Drop a
Costs nothing.
like,
Costs
leave a
nothing.
comment, man, and you're in. That's all it takes. All right, guys, we thank you so much. We appreciate it. Be on the lookout for next week's questions. And until then, as always, it's Go Gators.
Go Gators.
I was
Hey,
waiting on Wes to say go Knowles.
Oh, bye.
Go Gators.